Okay, so I have been working on this for over a year. Yes, it's over a year in the making, and I have finally finished it. The major bulk of this recording started in mid-2023, and I finished all of the recording that I managed to get 5 months later. Well, I thought I was finished because I actually did miss some tanks. And after going through every single tank, after going through every single recording that I had of said tanks, cross-referencing it through the game to make sure that I have not missed a single tank, and I still believe I've missed a tank or two, I have managed to count 1,141 tanks. I am not including the main game tanks, except one of them for a specific reason, and you will find this out throughout the video. I have already done one-sentence descriptions for the main tanks in the game, but this was a while back, and new tanks have been added since then, but they're also not included because they are still part of the main game, so you won't see those here. I would have done this much sooner, but considering I had to juggle 2 channels alongside other unexpected circumstances that I will not say, I kept delaying the video, and I thought about quitting making this video many times, but I was in too deep into the video making. Not to mention the amount of times I screwed up actually editing the video. I even had to make multiple recordings and multiple lists just to make sure that I have not missed anything, and to make sure that I've even put it in the videos. As there are many tanks in this mode that have 1 letter difference, or they've removed 1 letter or gained 1 letter, you have no idea how frustrating it was to try and find every tank. And now that I've finally done this, and again, hopefully not missed any tanks, I am finally free from it. So I hope you understand how much pain and frustration I had to go through just to make this video. And if I've done a mistake, it is what it is, because I am not going to go back and re-upload it, unless it's a very serious issue. I just have to say all of this before we begin. Oh, and by the way, this is as close as you're going to get to the arms race gauntlet. Like, it's just not going to happen. I already have had enough pain trying to find out if I've gotten all the tanks here. You think I'm going to try and do an arms race gauntlet? That video will be like 49 hours, with 4,000 hours worth of recording, probably. Maybe if I do it in segmented sections, but I'm still not going to do that. Have you seen some of the tanks in this freaking mode? Well, if you don't, you're going to find out. And to begin this, I am going to start with a tank that was actually in the main game, but was removed, brought back as a daily tank, and then removed again. Yes, I think you know which one it is. And I will continue to go through the rest of the tanks that are in arms race. Are you ready? Let's begin. Rocketeer. Imagine being from the main game, that is the appeal, gets removed from the game, added to Horacio as part of the main tanks, removed, then reintroduced into arms race, but then gets added as a daily tank like some twisted joke or a love-hate relationship that you have with it. Like it's some punishment for being a simple pain in the ass to deal with. Okay, look, I've got to start strong, okay? Mega Trapper, you have been treated almost the exact same as the Rocketeer, except you still somehow have a good use, and your downfall, if there was one, isn't so brutal. Hatcher, I prefer the Synexio version. Headman, also known as Overlord on crack, or drugs if you prefer. Quintuplet. If Triplet was the standard average tank for both Diapio and Horacio, then Quintuplet is the same for arms race. Mega Auto Minigun. I will warn you once again, you are going to see a lot of these tanks with this kind of name, and just like this one, most of them are terrible. Penta Double. Somehow not the most toxic tank out there. Butt-Buttin. The polite way to say ass-assin. Auto-Butt-Buttin. Yes, this is a thing. The more PG you get, the more stupid you become. Cutlass, you play this tank whilst glass shatters around you. Assailer, you cannot tell if exploding traps make this tank good, but you like using it anyway. Double spread shot. Let's hope nobody has to tell you that this is a bad tank, as you think it's good when bullets are stacked correctly. Vitality. Even if this gave more health, this does not make you a god tier tank or player. Bozo. If there are tanks you want to take seriously, do not give them an insulting name as the official tank name, and this is not the only one. Phantom. Two of the most annoying tropes on one tank. Assassin free. This still makes Assassin look more like a joke. Environ. Be happy that you actually have more useful barrels than useless ones. Stop being greedy. Tempest. This isn't even the worst of them, and that's saying something. Rimflak. You believe the combination of bullets shouldn't work, but somehow it does, and makes you a real threat to others. Coral. Undetected nightmare fuel. Massacrer. Arbalest. When you cannot decide between duo and ballista. Triple auto smasher. More alcohol was consumed when making this tank. And please, do not do this. Worker. This is a polite way of saying the workers are your slaves, but at least you're honest about it. Auto single. At least you're accurate about your love life. Walk, walk, walk. You can tell this is a joke, so I'm going to start walking. Walk, walk, walk. Okay, why? Triprid. You best hope the drones are going into the direction where you're spamming your bullets. Scepter machine. Why bother using a script when this basically acts like a script without the need to cheat? Bent bulwark. One of those tanks that you want to play in reverse but give up to play normally. Quarian. Somehow not the craziest tank under this branch, and that is a testament to how good some of these tanks in this class tree are. Well, before it was nerfed. Synthesis. Just use this like a destroyer, because these automated drones are even more of a joke and are somehow more of a degradation of the destroyer than anything else. Slingshot. Wait a minute, this is not the Predator class tree. You lied to me! Doper, the tier 3 class that all the drug addicts start with, and it gets a lot worse from here. Blockbuster. This is a more satisfying tank than you are made to believe. Quad angle. This tank looks absolutely terrifying. Anomaly. Simply respawn as a better trapper tank. Auto Predator. It's the kind of upgrade you wish you had as a tier 4 upgrade, so that you could deal with those ram tanks much easier, but only if you stopped overusing your extended field of vision. Scout. You would think the name would resemble the tank, but all that shows is a random tank like this did not have as much thought as it should have been put into it. Creator. No, this is not my favourite tank. Hypercluster. Put yourself in the right mode with the right amount of players that you can kill with barely any effort, if any effort at all, and you have got yourself an aimless shooting simulator. Toppler. If Triplet combined all of its bullets into one and shot them like a buffed minigun. Minilet. Triple the bullets, triple the failure. Hackshot. This is not confusing for your opponents at all. Harpy. Be sure not to die from a stray random tiny bullet that it shoots. Quad walk. The ratio of trap to bullet in this form makes you strangely difficult to predict. Clasp. Defensively offensive. Mac gun. This is what a real sniper with moderate reload feels like. Settler. You don't always use your invisibility, but when you do, you make it count. Mega landmine. You don't always use your invisibility, but when you do, you deserve to die. Force. You have no power here. Browser. A good upgrade in theory, but compare it to many of the other tier 5 upgrades, and it gets outclassed real quickly. Lockup. This is what happens when snipers can chase when the recoil from the back barrels are much stronger. Mega auto triple shot. The mega turret looking like a mini auto destroyer turret is just as abominably dreadful as you think it is. Triple auto triple shot. Ah yes, the answer to a much better upgrade is giving a triple upgrade to a triple tank and call it a day. Lavisher. Rest in peace to the unsuspecting player dying to your traps as you run away from another threat. Armsman Drive, a useful upgrade to a set of useless drones, is the perfect way to describe this and many others. Recurver, somehow more streamlined than the Streamliner. Arsenal, not designed to be cannon fodder. Bombaler, the small turrets on the drones do not last long enough or reload fast enough to even be considered useful enough to be used properly. Sealer, there's not enough focus on this for it to be deadly. Merlin, some will see the extra back barrels are worth it. Integrator, you don't play properly half of the time, as you prefer to spend your time out chasing your drones. Avian, do not get caught by it. Female Faceta, no comment! Auto Cog. Even the turret makes you look like clockwork. Armament. A nice selection of upgrades that you can use in primary and secondary and it would still be good. Vulture. Not another tank with an identity crisis. Flexed minigun. There's nothing to flex about your terrible bullets looking and acting like a budget pentashot ripoff. Overwhelmer. Perfect for the Conqueror tryhards. Donjon. You accidentally picked this because you never understood what the tank name means. And I'm totally not referencing the time when I said I didn't know what an ordnance was. Totally not. Clobberer. Do you play this game with a hammer or what? Honcho. The one who acts tough but cowers immediately whenever there's any danger imminent. Queller. No recoil for you to abuse, so use it as intended. Serimus. Please do tread lightly around this tank. You might be surprised at what they cannot do. Raven. Why is one of the coolest of names always have to be for one of the most toxic of tanks? Urn. Lost in the sea of other upgrades you are. Carronade. Your main bullet is so bad that you have to rely on your B drones to help you gain kills. Magnum. Don't lie, you also wanted to eat the Magnum bullet every time you play this. Cross. Your anger is justified as this one upgrade robs you of the one thing you do best. Shaper. Yes. You have a shape, but why do you still shoot side bullets instead of traps? Melder. Oh, I see. So an even weirder name was reserved for this. Spectre, again with the two of the most annoying bullets, but this time cranked into overdrive, which ironically puts all of the other stupid drive tanks to shame. Tri-Operator. There's no bar you won't lower and no line you won't cross in order for you to achieve your wackiest goals. Creeper. I am not even going to describe what is wrong with you. Poacher Drive. Just keep trying. You'll succeed. Someday. Bifold. You're still a jewel. Auto Sniper free. Thanks to your lack of movement speed, you're not so annoying now. Are you? Helix. Something tells me this was the inspiration for the main game tank, despite it being two completely separate tanks. Scatterer. DPO machine gun is sweating right now. Volley 4. Your only main saving grace is how frustrating auto turrets are to deal with, otherwise you would be doomed. Blair. At least these will be of use against ram tanks. Duster. Predator for those that like faster reload. Roller. You hope to be in a server full of players that isn't in a maze mode, growth or not, that you're able to roll over everyone with your insufferable amount of drones, as you are attacked with one of the best uncontrollable drones out there. Double Flank Gunner. There's no way you thought this many guns like this was a good idea. Bombard. You're supposed to have the strongest bullets upon explosion, so why are you one of the weakest tanks in this class? Flocker. Multiple NPC drones is your forte. Captain Drive. You'll never be a general. Overstorm. You don't even have to kill with your main drones, as you can let your mini drones do the work. Auto Necromancer. Auto 4. I can't wait for the Auto Mega Triple 58 upgrade. Auto 7. Your classic daily dose of ridiculous stray bullets killing you. Divisor. Do you really expect us to believe the prop sniper turret actually shoots? Rallier. If this was the default upgrade for every new tier 4 tank that wasn't a drone tank, then it was the wrong choice. Mega Factory. Any drone tank with mega or worse in their name deserves to be punished without any rhyme or reason. Jolter. A virtual electric shock is something you would never expect in this game, but it will make you pay attention. Tommy. This would be the case if the real gun had infinite ammo in one round. Escort. You really like sending players to hell. Baton. At least you look the part. Walloper. There are multiple ways to play this, but that does not make you any good. Bent Flank Double. You cannot flank in every direction whether you want to admit it or not. Fault. You'll know who to blame when you die. Crack Shot. So you are the one that gave spread shots the adrenaline they don't need, or deserve. Spambrid. More drones would have been preferred for spamming. Man o' War. Not the kind of player to piss off if you ask me. Can I even say this without accidentally getting demonetized? Oh, screw it. Spam, spam, and more spam, and more spam, and more spam. That's you in a nutshell. Alloy. Bullet confusion is your body armor like it's an 11th skill of yours. Immolator. Your gameplay would be more interesting if you set yourself on fire. Courser. Or more appropriately, the X-Hunter. Your name change does not solve anything here. Culvering. So you are telling me this is a shotgun with sniper-like range despite it making no sense? Actually, it might make sense. Prick. There are other tanks that deserve this name more than you, even though they are not sharp. Tricker. You and all of your friends will be delighted that this exists as a tier 5 upgrade because now all of you can use it to troll everyone in any arms race server that exists. Shiver. As long as the recoil works, you do not care what shoots behind you. Chisel. It doesn't matter which one of these you choose, they're all going to be the most annoying tank you've played against all day. And this here is the exact reason as to why. Stapler. You don't really care about kills, you only care about being that one tank that will help the team by providing a service with your fast as hell bullets. Technician. You only wish the turret on the Mega Trap was a lot stronger. Stoner. You actually think your drone is a real Dorito chip and your warped brain is telling you to eat it. Ream. This is the closest you will ever get to shooting out auto triangles as a bullet. Hexa Machine. When you have so much fun that you decide to make it your whole personality whilst becoming absolutely crazy. Tri-Pen. Stop acting like a tier 5 tank. Try Diesel Trapper. You get high on the smell of petrol for you to shoot like this. Guardrail. A real twin flank. Dyadic. Your bigger bullets are as useless as your extra vision skill. Stockade. You live for the day the extra mini drones will actually get you the kill. Partition. Machine traps make you more of a, well, machine I guess. Buster. Do not use your traps to create a dance floor just so you can bust out a dance move. Oracle. Not the amalgam of tank mechanics you were expecting, but you like it, because you think you can be much wiser with them. Mega Issuer. You would sell your entire soul to have the exact same drones with the exact same power that they have, but to make them even faster just so you can act like the old Ultra Spawner with even faster drones. Mega Spawner. You might actually not be forgotten this time. Work. If you want something from Horacio as a ringtone, the pronunciation of this tank is the perfect choice for you. Firepower is the one thing you do not have. Auto-Foctillery. Nobody knows what you are. Diesel. You like trucks. Tainter. Now these are more useful NPC drones, assuming you can get close enough to a player for them to even work, as their range sucks incredibly. Cominx. One useless drone with more power is better than 3 useless drones with lower power. Hawker. Be sure to plan your attack on your prey in advance, as you have the view range for it. Mega Auto Free. We can all tell you have no brains. Banshee Drive. You scream out in terror every time you achieve a kill. Duelist. When one sniper doesn't do the job, you think adding a second barrel will do the trick, but then get mad when it doesn't. Paddock. You are not a real architect upgrade because you have bullets. Striker. For some reason you like shooting the ball even though you clearly cannot shoot it far enough. Shower. Or shower. Either you need to take a long ass shower because you absolutely stink up the game, or you just like showing off. That is, assuming you have anything good to show off in the first place. Compartment. All you like doing is watching your traps explode. Slogger. With a plethora of drone tanks, you are bound to have absolutely trash ones. Big Cheese Drive. A perfect reminder that big Doritos are not real weapons of war. Manager Drive. At least this does not render your invisibility mechanic pointless. Auto Landmine. Like seriously, who the hell thought this was a good idea? Vanquisher. Sadism with extra flavour. Blight. Too many wannabe hybrids all over the place. Sailor, you will not be conquering the seas with this one. Mega 5. No one takes you seriously, and that's a detriment to them and not you. Ultra Hunter. The biggest dream you have is killing multiple people at once by stacking your bullets, but every time you think you've got it, you failed, so you end up resorting to play it like a maniacal version of Destroyer to compensate. Director Drive. You are to blame for the unnecessary swarm of drones. Warark. Hello, Pentatrapper. Double battery. That is some light damage here, almost as if you are not really committing battery at all. Petrifier. This could be applied to almost every tank with invisibility and you would not know the difference. Triple Auto Director Drive. This is one way to completely maximize the output of your auto turrets, and I can respect it as much as I can laugh at it. Auto Battleship. Finally, some defense for you against these pesky ramming players. Doorman. Close the door when you die. Auto Spawner Drive. In a perfect world, you would be the most dominant arms race tank. But you are not. Cap Trapper. You never cared about your trap until the very last moment. Rampart. No over barricade is disappointing yet again. Gadget Gun. Brand new gadget goes out of fashion immediately after being added. Fleeter. You look like a zombie in tank form with rockets strapped to it. Overnailer. Just when you think Overgunner was bad enough, you now have to deal with nailgun speed bullets just for a bit of extra havoc created by players who use this. Auto Battery. No electric shock is allowed for you. Blackjack. Someone pulled a Joker prank on you by giving this the tiny trap barrels. Batter 4. You get battered way more than you batter. Auto Laborer. You are not doing any hard work if you have an artificial turret doing it for you. Auto Doper Drive. So you also got addicted to auto turrets alongside the other addiction to being high off fast drones. Recoiler. You easily get outclassed by the one tank that shoots 3 of these traps instead of your one giant trap. Careerer. You are right about one thing. Rocketeer did used to end high score careers, and in some ways, it still does. Flock. You thrive on your explosion being unpredictable. Architect Guard. This would have been the perfect tank to play in reverse if it was not for the fact your 3 traps actually moved in the direction of your mouse instead of exactly in reverse of it. Despot. You are underestimated for no reason at all. Auto Bushwhacker. There is nothing you can do to convince others that you're the better auto tank. Anchor. When you feel like a tank like this is an upgrade but the recoil of the back barrel only weighs you down, unable to escape danger as fast as you should. Deficiency. Nothing scares me more than a pentashot with forward speed. Auto Bent Minigun. If you want to keep being a weak underdog kind of tank, then here's the one for you. Auto Equalizer. How can something so useless make another useless mechanic even more useless? Auto Overlord. Don't worry, the auto turret will deal with those pesky, non-invisible ram tanks, whilst you rampage everywhere and miss half of your kills, if not more. Osprey. You like bashing your head against a wall and hoping you kill someone. Mega Auto Triangle. The best purpose the auto turret had before was the reload, and the strength of the turret was enough for you to tank even less damage. But now you cannot even tell if this mega turret will do that any better than before. Juper. This would work much better if you did not have NPC drones, but drones that you could control. Aviator. So you instead went the defensive route, and if you get ambushed, it's on you. Mangle. A much better version of Bent Flank Double. Gunner Pen. Now more of your bullets can pack a punch regardless of which way you play. Pulverizer. You are an absolute menace if you can stack these traps properly. Over Double Gunner. This is the weirdest flank guard imaginable. Harbinger. If you bring the chaos, you will die! Auto Underseer. Why do you have to make all of your other stronger upgrades look so stupid? Supervisor. You're seriously not okay. Sheller. Chaotic Evil. Copier. You have no shame in what you do. Cartridge. Please send the recording of your latest dev to your nearest TV station so that we can laugh uncontrollably at your mistakes. Forger, somehow the correct choice for all of your problems that nobody else has. Gusher, the one tank that will always take pride in slowly chipping away a player's health before not gaining the kill. Roadblock, you better use this on the reflector walls in Magic Maze or I'll be very disappointed. Sniper free, sluggish movement hinders everything about you. Triple auto spawner, the only reason you picked this is so you can debuff yourself. Huntsman, not a strong enough hunter to be taken seriously. Defect, the class tree for the rejects. Walklet, you make the entire class tree look sane in comparison to the others that are obviously a joke. Blower, I wonder why you're even here. Shade, no matter how hard you try, you cannot hide yourself to kill anyone. Beater, you wonder if the extra side barrels are even worth it. Barber, if you think you can chase well with this, you are certainly mistaken. Puffer, everyone just sees you and moves elsewhere because you're nothing to them. Reposit, I would call you balanced, but you're a drone tank, and drone tanks are never balanced, even those that are trash. Emitter, what makes you think you're better than other tanks when you don't have the best mechanics? Triple auto honcho, it's fitting that a honcho has minions that are useless to them. Mega auto destroyer, double the brawn, half the brain. Pea shooter, you fail to understand the concept of what is supposed to be weak, considering normal pea shooters are supposed to be weak. Mech, one step closer to being a machine with more turrets. Bent double minigun, again with a tier 5 tank being a downgrade which is common for most minigun upgrades that are not streamliner. Bent double gunner, this is what Spreadshot would look like if it lost half of its theoretical teeth. Triple gunner, finally, a real flank guard. Mixer, it's crazy that we witness a tank like this with an upgrade that makes them a tier 3 tank even though they're supposed to be a tier 5 tank. Nobody needs this. Okay, do I really have to have this problem again? Whatever. Hybrid makes fun of you regularly, as does Mortar. Meld. This is worse because this is supposed to be the constructor version of Hybrid, and it's tier 5. Embargo. You are not allowed to use this tank for undisclosed reasons. Mega Auto Pen. Instead of a turret that pretends to be a destroyer, why not have an auto turret that shoots traps? Cobbler Drive. You can tell the developer and whoever made this tank didn't put much thought into this, or didn't even care as much because they failed to capitalize the C on the official tank name. Queller Free. Now this is a triple auto artillery that I can get behind. If it weren't so garbage. Spawner Drive. More excuses to not like you now exist. Spawner Storm. The power struggle between doing everything and doing nothing is absolutely real. Custodian. How to be a bushwhacker whilst operating as a single. You just take one upgrade of each and call it a day. Auto Forger. You are not allowed to have bullets. Why do you keep upgrading to them? Battery. There is no hope for you. Ever. Hardware. Just enough traps for you to be considered a nuisance to everyone around you. Auto Drifter. What you see here is no keyboard movement whatsoever, and what you also see is the perfect in-game demonstration of perpetually banging your head against the wall. Dispatcher. Remember that normal gunner bullets lack the recoil, so you will be slightly disappointed in the outcome of this. Sequence. Your brain will get fried at the thought of a tank like this. Glider. You want bullets that you can control, you want barrels that you can control, but you still want the auto turrets for some strange reason. And the reason is, you are greedy. Conductor. The only thing you like doing is watching your drones spin around as you turn invisible, and you don't really like playing the game. Industry. Imagine not incentivizing the speed of your drones in favor of more drones like a crazy player. Mega Auto Builder. No terrorizing the center of the map for you. Auto Jalopy. What a grave mistake. Fusil. It's a good thing you prioritize defense when you most likely do not need it. Fusillade. It's a good thing you prioritize defense on a bunch of barrels that make you a much weaker tank than you are supposed to be. Or is it? Designer. Real designers are not supposed to be lazy, but you are very much lazy. Obliterator. You are just finding other ways to annihilate everyone. Whizzer. Finally a better use for NPC drones. Just get close and personal and you will do more damage. Try Machine Mech. You like spamming the top left corner like all your other Trapper Turret friends. Split Double. Why share the substance when you can just use it all yourself and double it up? Gunner Mech. It doesn't matter. Your main bullets are the main source of a headache to others. Marine. All we know is you like to have different ways of sniping your enemies. Coalesce. You look like a pet. Lyncher. The Horacio Mafia called. They want their reputation back. Triple Auto Hunter. This would have been better thought through if this was an auto sniper turret and not another lame ass triple auto tank. Deviation Drive. The formula doesn't work with this one. Kara kara. 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 Assimilator.
You must assimilate to the cause of the MG sprint routine, and if you cannot resist, a resistance is futile.
Deviation. Remove yourself from the equation for real. Auto Sprayer. This might actually make you stronger than it should be. Foreman. Steroids is one powerful drug. Mega Spawner Drive. And now with extra flavor. And power, I guess. Mercenary. We get it. All of the military-esque tanks are mostly snipers. Flexed Gunner. This isn't the sprint shot I ordered. Hitman. This is the tank witch hunters should be using for their proverbial witch hunts of high score players, but it's just not happening. Ravisher. You really have to be careful because you really don't want to hurt anyone, yet you somehow do it. Mongrel. Only mongrels call other tanks mongrels, if you catch my drift. Bulker. This is a very bloated tank for what it is. Pen. If there is an arms race tier 3 tank that deserves the highest of high scores for all the junkies that definitely want some kind of challenge, then it's definitely Pen. Cog.
The gears are returning.
Yard. At least you're not a stupid walk tank, and by that I mean the name. Triple Auto Rifle. No one will ever be able to explain you properly. Fuckter. A more streamlined version of the side barrels does not make you a quality choice. Nitwit. Your option is to run away from being an insult, or stand your ground. It's your call. Dork. You in particular deserve to be insulted and for it to be set in stone. Auto Mega Spawner. The auto turret is only just for show, and you don't really care about it, except you regret not picking the Ultra Spawner for the obvious reason being a lack of firepower on this choice. Barn. You cannot tell if bigger mini drones are a drawback or an advantage. Pollen. So you spawn bees or what? Bee Master. Oh, okay, so here we have the real Bee Master, which means the bees are distracted to the pollen tank, which also means they died from attacking the true source of the pollen, and that raises the question, is this really a Bee Master if it doesn't take care of its bees? Or are they using their bees selectively to kill others whilst they die trying to get to the pollen, which is the tank that spawns its own pollen? I'm overthinking all of this. Please stop me. Crowbar. You like to hypothetically jam and unjam yourself into certain battles and situations, just to make things more awkward for everyone else. Heaver Drive. From tier 3 to tier 5, you literally have no purpose. Fang. So now we know you have teeth of mass destruction. Molder. The perfect defense for you to snipe from afar. Jailer. You would expect a name like this to be for a drone tank because all they ever do is indirectly jail you into a corner until you die, but no, it's on you. Auto Gunner Trapper. You are fine with this because you care more about your other features being more important than one stupid auto turret. Bunker. Keep hiding under the maze walls because you will not last very long. Chucker. If you are able to use the free back bullets properly, then I commend you for being able to. Because they suck. Broadsider. Creating your own barricade whilst you snipe is a good power move. Over Diesel. When you mix two components together to make a highly volatile substance. Assaulter. All of these kind of tanks assault the enemy. What are you talking about? Triple Auto Triangle. One turret for every ram tank you come across. Triple Auto Artillery. You only picked this for the sake of still being an artillery because you once used the broken artillery tank a few years prior. Conformer. Lacking individuality is definitely on point here with you having 3 automated NPC mechanics. Klutz. You spend your days slamming into walls and crashing into shapes like you're drunk on autopilot. Auto Cyclone. If Diepio or Ratio ever were a tower defense game, Octotank and this would be the go-to rookie choice for destroying all shapes like it's a wannabe Bloons tower defense game. Okay, I ain't gonna lie, that would be cool. Auto Infester. The amount of times you confuse an auto turret build as one of your drones is hilariously embarrassing to admit to anyone. Battle Wagon. You end every battle with a rage. Auto Factory. No matter the standard factory upgrade, you would not have lasted anywhere and will be one of the earliest to die from an apocalypse. Probably. Incarcerator. The only thing you end up doing is policing everyone who is weaker than you. Auto Spike. At least you give your counterparts and other ram tanks a harder time when they try to ram you. Auto Pentashot. For some reason you love Pentashot so much that any other upgrade in this tree is not worth it for you. Sparrow. Just keep sniping, it's still all you're good for. Mega Poacher. The strength of these bullets is the only thing that should be able to save you. Auto Bulwark. You don't make a difference to anything. Triple Auto Assassin. You certainly like making a fool of yourself, and this choice proves it. Auto Courser. The thought of you makes no sense as you still have little idea what kind of an upgrade you are. Mega Auto Director Drive. Having both kinds of auto turrets satisfies you greatly, despite it being a disaster. Minister. You like to begin your day with a desire to betray all of your fellow brethren that have decided to ridicule you and your special powers. Nester. As long as your bullets can explode, you never cared about the drones. Facility. Those that are tired of any factory's slow drones will love this because that's what they are. Disgruntled factory users. Auto Destroyer. You are so sick of this that you would rather go back to just plain Destroyer. Auto Banshee. If 3 autos don't work, then clearly a 4th one will surely work with your drones. Right? Auto Free. You are the kind of player to meme yourself. Scepter Trap Guard. You don't want to be a pure Octotank. Bowler. 10 strikes and you're dead. Shaver. You have a lot of fatigue. Scepter Mech. Spam any harder and you may just regret it. Try Mega Trapper. You will somehow find a way to use this without mindlessly shooting the traps. Captain. The tank that is the epitome of a huge ego thinking they're a big shot. General. The true tank that's in charge and can actually be of service, so all captains must fall in line. Baltimore. I didn't realize the entire US city likes spamming bloated Dorito chips. Turnian. Fusing 3 singles together and somehow you're still alone. Imagine the irony. Auto Work. Jokes are no longer funny when you constantly repeat the same joke, and it is definitely not funny when you overuse the 2 funny or unfunny jokes to make a low tier meme just for a little engagement. Auto Double Gunner. Do you seriously hate yourself this much? Bent Widget. You somehow made yourself even weaker. Gunner Try Trapper. Less of a challenge now that you have Gunner Trapper bullets, so I don't think you ever cared. Factory Drive. You spam so hard that you forget about the speed. Fortalice. This is akin to injecting performance enhancing needles into your system, except you inject it into a tank that tries to look like a castle whilst being offensive. Executor. Only for those that can aim properly can execute this very well. Hurler. You lack energy. Try Machine Guard. You like to stay in open-ended areas so you can properly. Try Mech. This would have been heavily spammed over Tri-Trapper or Hexatank if this was in the main game. Over Assassin. This doesn't change the fact that assassins are terrible tanks. Mega Ordnance. Everyone waits for you to leave. Flitcher. This is one sniper that is shady by trying to sneak its bullets in for a kill. Tumble. Destroyer as a machine gun, or a machine gun as a destroyer, is a wild card. That is, if you can find a way to land your bulky shots. Apiarist. This artillery is not beefed up. Boxer. Someone that likes to prove that their side jabs hurt and uses it less as a fighter and more as a player that's trying to justify the side barrels. Blitz. No one should ever kill you from behind, or the side, or the diagonals, just the front. Foundry. We found it, a terrible spawner branch for all of us to laugh at. Thwacker. You don't hurt enough to thwack others. Tripwire. You are supposed to hurt someone or cause something to explode if you are a tripwire, but you do none of these things very well. Pipeline. You should not leave yourself to be a fragile being. Spirit. The drones are the ones that haunted you from a life once past and gone. Overcheese. Many of you wish this was the original Overseer. Defeater. You won't get anywhere with that attitude. Auto Machine Trapper. Another tank that some are glad that it is not in the main modes. Scrimmer. This is the tank equivalent of having robotic arms with guns. Too bad they don't shoot lasers. Rocket. MG Spin to Die. Wait, wrong game. Overpen. The true amalgam at play here. Auto Machine Mech. These certainly do look more like robots. Auto Mega Smasher. All this does is make you look more like an aggressive drunk experiment that went horribly wrong. Mega Auto Smasher. You just don't get it, do you? Overmech. Good thing you cannot directly place the traps or everyone would be in trouble. Although I guess that would be bad for you, so take that as you will. Sword Off. I never realised a real life shotgun could really shoot bullets as if they were traps. But since this is a ratio, I guess we have to make things weird here. Retainer. It is hard to come up with a description for a tank that has had similar descriptions, and this is one of them. Flintlock. Blunderbuss would have been way better, but it's not in this game, so you better make any hypothetical blunderbuss user proud, just in case. Auto Subverter. The weaker auto builder. Hitman Drive. True hitmen do not need useless drones with turrets in order to carry out their assassination. Mega Captain. You're still not better than a general. Auto Triplet. For some reason you like the triplet too much that you decide to subject yourself to torture by adding another auto turret. Junker. One thing that is right about you. You're an absolute junk of a tank. Fungus. Someone will be dedicated enough to use scripts with this as they have no other way to play, fundamentally devaluing the purpose of this version of Spreadshot. Harbour. Picture a bunch of wasps targeting you. Now apply it to this and you get a near perfect representation of that. Hewn Gunner. Never did I think you would become a discount fighter, a discount booster, and a discount bomber, all in the same stretch, whilst also being budget versions of your tier 5 counterparts. But you did it, and I hope you are proud of yourself for being a much cheaper knockoff of all of these versions and more. Auto Conqueror. This is the only place to prove that you're less of a tryhard. Pick it. You only upgraded to this tank just so you can pick it. I deserve the worst in this game. Mega Auto Trap Guard. Or just the Trap Guard. Stalker. Bigger barrels and yet nobody knows the difference. Mega Auto Overseer. One day you will pray that the Mega Turret stops a ram tank. Double Musket. Go ahead and confuse everyone with how strong your bullets are from both sides. Planner. Good thing this tank was never a major factor in the ratio roadmap, otherwise we would all be in trouble. Cornerer. Do yourself a favour and get cornered so you can see how it feels for you to be cornered. But I guess you don't care about others. Blend. Just another filler tank. Sprinkler. You could take the drones out of the equation and it would still be a sprinkler, which shows how mostly pointless this edition is. Auto Trap Guard. Nothing is free. Mega Auto Diesel. This would work well together if you could control the Mega Turret and have it not piss you off so much. Charger. Too bad you cannot detonate the traps yourself for the explosion, though that may be too broken to use. Ticker. Tri-Encircler. You will only regret this if you want to kill from just one set of barrels. Circulator. It is very unethical to give your minions drugs, so please stop. Battery Hybrid. I personally feel insulted by this. Mamba. You alternate between frustration and a joke, all because the name of your tank is fun to say. Mamba. Fender. Play your traps right and you can be one of the most underestimated tanks there is. Employer. Be sure not to friendly fire your own teammates when you die, if that's even possible. Cockatoo. Starting your day by screaming at the sky is definitely one way to choose violence. Auto Mega Free. You're disappointed that Mega Free cannot happen. You would have loved it. Mega Auto Walk. You would definitely picked the wrong one on accident, for you need to use the true power of the world. Double Machine Gunner. Double the machine means double the... Yeah, you heard me. Strapper. A desperate upgrade to save yourself from being a low tier class is clearly what you need. Hyper Inception. Any tank with hyper in its name should not be trusted, and you can definitely expect all but one of them to sidewire a particular maze area for the sake of a base in Clan Wars. Labor Drive. It's good to know that half of these are more of a joke and not completely broken. You fall in the joke category. Mega Predator. Go hard or go home, and you certainly don't want to go home. Howitzer. Be careful that you don't blow a casket with this. Auto Underdrive. Just play this normally, as non-alpha squares will not be powerful enough to tank all the damage without the turrets doing damage. Or just don't. I don't think you understand the brain you have. Mega Hanger. Proof the smaller bullets and drones are usually the biggest annoyance. Auto Projector. Anything counts as help for you. Fabrication. You look like if Walk summoned the spawns of the devil inside of it. Fort Drive. Fortress really did fall off. Stormer. This takes way too long to explode for it to be of any use. Pleuron. Kidnapping the battleship as a full bullet is a smart move. Neutron. No, this is not another Pokemon evolution from the beloved Pokemon we all know, rather just a tank that has the potential to be one of the strongest in the game without realizing it. Formulator. NPC drones ruin the whole purpose of this being a sniper, but you're one of the few that like to get close, so this helps you. Walk Drive. Just stop it. Hatchet. Having both side bullets and traps makes you even more viable, and you could even argue that having both of these side barrels makes it even stronger than your main bullet. Revenant. Something tells me you are not glad that you swapped out traps for mini drones despite your addiction to controlling stuff. Refuge. Don't feel too safe now, your time will come for you to pass. Airfield. You like this as if you're in the military, but you control pixelated drones instead. Butcher. You should have been called Butchwhacker, but the moment has passed. Double Triplet. This is the equivalent of looking into the mirror one day and seeing double of yourself. Covert. Just when you think the Railgun class tree was bad enough, invisibility capabilities make you a terrifyingly frustrating character to come across, and you love it so much. Foundry Drive. You feel broken for all the wrong reasons, or for all the right reasons depending on your perspective. Grinder. You seriously cannot tell the difference between yourself and Hanger. Overshot. Triple Shot definitely won with this one. Kingpin. Anytime an Overlord loses any drones, it will be considered a downgrade, no matter how good or bad it is. Or at least, that's what the Overlords think. Hurdle. Be glad that this one bullet stops many attempts of a lot of players targeting you. Overrunner. Conqueror with explosive traps. Who would have thought? Dipper. I'm running out of descriptions for these that have these stupid drones. Please help me. Manufacture. An arena closer should permanently kill you just so nobody has to deal with your insufferable amount of minions, and it's even worse when it's in growth. Discharger. You actually prefer this over artillery, which means you're not as obsessive over tier 3 tanks. So congratulations! Rebounder. If this is how you want to be called, then I will only support it because that's what your traps do. Hunter Free. Triple stack, but you can never fully use them, almost as if this auto version isn't very useful. Auto Field Gun. Is this the equivalent of having so many useless things that it somehow becomes useful? Watchman. Go back to your watchtower where you snipe from because you're not killing anyone here without some sheer luck. Probably. Force Drive. Face it, you have wasted your potential. Auto Surfer. Make sure it's clear to everyone that you didn't pick this by choice, because there is no way in anyone's mind that you would pick this over another with drone cannons on each side like Brawler. Befouler. Keep your violent thoughts to yourself. Equalizer Guard. When you bring a knife to a gunfight, but instead you also have a gun as a good know you moment. Bracer. You only go for those that are easy pickings. Bent Crossbreed. Triple Shot fumbled itself with this one. Try Trap Guard. You hate perfection. Bent Barricade. That's one way to build a wall efficiently. Bent Subverter. Onward to satisfaction by shooting all of the bullets for maximum effect to debuff yourself. Auto Engineer. You give up trying to be friendly and rather go back to your sadistic roots with this. Originator. You play any mode like it's sandbox. Lugger. Anything you can to stay a relevant carrier, am I right? Prescriber. I'm going to blame you for all the drone addicts in this mode, and you cannot change my mind. Stomper. The Annihilator will still annihilate, because no Stomper will be able to stomp with extra bullets, now will they? Deadeye. You take what you can get to deal with those getting too close. Baltimore Drive. When you turn a city into a demilitarized zone. Productionist. Why are you against production when it's clearly working out for you? Wrench. You best never let this happen to you, no matter the mode you're in, especially in growth where everyone hates you. Mega Walk.
Must kill all.
Pommel. How to look as close as you can to a minigun without having any resemblance to a minigun. Instructor. You are in no position to tell anyone what to do, as it is the same for any other drone tank. Double Rimfire. Stray bullets will keep you at bay. Double Duel. This is one way to make a quadruplet tank without really making a quadruplet tank. Double Volley. Tanks with the purpose of flanking do not appear to be as good as they probably should be, and even worse when it's a volley tank. Over Minigun. You sold out. Auto Taser. You think the old beta testers got bored and started to use a new and improved version of Taser? I think so. Auto Cruiser Drive. Why do you do this to yourself? Projector. Deceitful by nature. Garroter. It was only a matter of time before the true X-Hunter got re-added into here. Polluter Drive. That's one way to say you're a toxic individual. Stifler. Almost every tank that switches its side bullets for traps is not much of an upgrade. Endeavour. Good luck with your future, but something tells me you will not have one. Auto Productionist. So many of these tanks feel like they have been automatically generated through a factory machine. Literally. Nimrod. Too many insults for too little pay, and the payoff is a good high score. Mega Prober. You hope for 1 second that your bullets will squeeze through the horde of bullets for that juicy kill that you crave, but can never get. Examiner. Because we surely need another sniper like a rifle to act like a stalker in this game. Plunderer. Just a sniper that has dreams of being better than this. Overbuilder. Control freaks will flock to this tank since you can control both the trap and the drones in different ways. Charmer. I wouldn't consider collecting or producing squares as charming, but anything to make a necromancer or male faceta not to come after you with a fiery vengeance. Whirlwind. You only play support to others that are far better than you, mainly if they pick a tank that is also prone to spamming all over. Auto Combo. Good tanks that have multiple different auto turrets are few and far between. Restrainer. Good thing you know when to understand when offense is the greatest defense. That is, if you know which barrel is better for that. Auto Heaver. Good job at embarrassing yourself. Auto Hurler. Also good job at embarrassing yourself. Regulator. Your descent into madness is well documented. Zapper. Consolidator. Simply treat yourself as a normal triangle because you are insane to think that your bloated drone could ever keep up with you. Hightailer. When you choose something for style but claim it still has the substance. Crop Duster Drive. Good luck getting anywhere with this. Kicker. Imagine giving a chaser tank a meat shield that doesn't do a lot of damage. What a waste. Scrutiner. Your dilemma revolves around whether or not you want to stack your bullets or play by using your invisibility skill, as you are very frustrated that you cannot do both. Machine Mech. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be a human? Throttler. You only like to spam, but didn't want to increase your trap spam capabilities for some reason. Auto Banger. All around build doesn't look appetizing, but you try it out for the sake of having all of the wrong stuff. Auto Pea Shooter. Double the weakness. Auto Polluter. Everyone gets warned about you, but you do not have the desire to fight back. Maverick. The savageness is strong in this one. Degrader. There should be a lot of jokes for this tank, but if I were to make them, they would not be funny. Disperser. You're still in awe of how fast Streamliner bullets are. Auto Split Shot. Pentashot overall has been struggling lately. Tacker. Since Nailgun was a major target before, for you, some defense is better than nothing. Liquor. No. Grazer. Make sure you hit them properly. Bunger. A much better use of an auto turret. Too bad the main bullet sucks. Interna Drive. 30 minutes have passed and you wonder why you haven't had any kills yet. Triple Auto Launcher. Nothing of value is here. Experimenter. If half of these tanks are experimented and tested with, then most of them wouldn't be so absurd or just downright terrible. Carbine. The closest you will ever get to being a hybrid. Auto Cluster. This is nothing more than a scam. Auto Pitcher. There's been no advancements here. Auto Male Faciter. You didn't dodge a bullet. Setup. Make sure you don't get flanked. Affiliator. At least you don't have to worry about playing in reverse. Auto Duel. You just want to stack much faster and easier, so that's why you have 2 of each barrel and not 3. Barrier. This will be the biggest wall that's ever been built. Unless you count all of these trappers here. Mega Hexa Trapper. This would be so cool if the Mega Turret was much better for use. Compound. This does not feel right. Mechanic. You like to fix things. By killing other players. Auto Launcher. Does anyone even know who you are? Governor. No one will ever trust you. Triple Auto Hexa Tank. If you can unwrap yourself from the abomination and the confusion of this tank, then good for you. Zephyr. You are often disappointed that you cannot use both of your stuff for ambushing. Rustler. Anything that moves as fast as a feather is open game for you. Stylist. At least we all know which you prefer, and you're now paying for it. Auto Twister. You have no faith. Gunman. This is fake news. Auto Falcon. You lost the ability to fly. Auto Stalker. You cannot be a stalker with an auto turret and think you can actually stalk players in the dark. It's simply not going to happen. Hexamech. All of these kind of tanks are undeniable proof that machines will take over. Courier. You like to let players theoretically bleed slowly as their hit points slowly get drained before killing them. You sadist! Automosi. Cruise faster means you die faster. Confiner. You're used as backup for other people's schemes. Strider. You simply cannot live without any kind of drone, now can you? Surfer Drive. Double tap and leave. Contaminator. This is a good representation of what happens when you use 2 key components to turn everyone into zombies. Kitter. You went all in on the wrong feature. Caster. A true neutral stands within. Vendor. Do not get this from any kind of vending machine or portal because you will regret it. Pinner. Pick any of them and you would be fine with it. Bolter. Deception did not work in your favor this time. Pivoter. Keep praying that someone will die to your traps. Vessel. Your plan to use this as a landmine failed so incredibly hard that you will want to play with full acceleration whilst sacrificing all of the other upgrades just to play as one. Or just simply play it as a normal drifter would, because, you know, that is also an option. Torpedo. Your disappointment lies with the main bullet not moving much faster than it already does, like in a submarine. Auto defect. You take being an auto triangle way too seriously. Phoenix. You're either a time traveler or someone who loves to travel through universes, as Sprayer here is still treated as a tier 4 tank, making Phoenix a tier 5 tank, with all the other Sprayer upgrades in the main game not existing here. And if you don't believe me, go check for yourself. Draftsman. Another player that loves fireworks. And with this, you can spam them with ease to lag the entire server. Great job! Deposer. Tier 5 hybrids come in all shapes and forms, and so you must pick ones like these that are still good enough to be usable. Fencer. Offensively defensive. Auto Ranger. You are convinced that this was the better choice over a higher field of vision with Vindicator. Lasher. It's a miracle you do not have marks on the base of your tank due to how much you get bullied. Finger. Are you serious? Binder. If Barricade had nailgun levels of bullet speed. Smearer. No spread shot would ever allow you to be possessed by the demons that are the drones of automation. Hipwatch. Finally a good use for auto turrets, but do be prepared for it not to shoot anything in front of you. Sifter. I am starting to think you don't like hunters. Pilfer. I am starting to think you hate hunters so much that you would rather be something else whilst also acting as a hunter tank. Dopeseer Drive. 2 addictions at once. Sharpshooter. Be glad this has more damage than a normal sniper as a tier 5 tank. Thwarter. Begin the destruction if you can keep up with others. Cassowary. This is not a good selection of in-game mechanics. Shoal. All you have to do is let the bullets do the work if you can. Auto Encircler. You are triple the machine you thought you would be. Auto Skimmer. Welcome to another useless auto turret, part 393. If there's even that many auto turret tanks. Cobbler. So anyway, as I started blasting every tank into oblivion, Repressor. You somehow get more kills with the drones than your giant ass destroyer bullet. Ganger. I don't care if you got nerfed, I don't care if you got buffed, I don't even care if anything happened to you. I only have one thing to say to you, and I mean this, openly, purely, and sincerely, from the bottom of my heart. Fuck you, Big Mac! Would you like fries with that? Caesar. If this is your way of pretending to be a secret agent, then you are failing miserably. Demise. Petition to rename this to Octopounder, or would that make it more generic? Delayer. Stop repeating yourself. Decoy. The embodiment of irrelevancy for one simple reason alone, and it is the fact that you cannot leave a clone of yourself to use to your potential advantage. Overmac. Not to be confused with Overmech, but you already knew that. Bent Streamliner. Too bad being underestimated does not fly for you no more. Unity. The only thing you've done is cause division. Triple Auto Trap Guard. Go ahead, begin the trap that you set out for us. Auto Pen. Single wishes it was this cool. Skidder. Neither bullet buff would have mattered to you. Swarmer Drive. Have you thought about realizing that this is not a good upgrade? Contriver. You wish you could spam harder. Sweeper. This is your nickname because most other players wipe the floor with you. Converger. The factory drones are more used for defense than anything else, as you can never get too close unless players are bad. But since you'd use traps, I guess this is a good thing for you that they are used for defense. Auto Interner. You like the idea of using the pen class with useless upgrades as a form of simplicity. Auto Overgunner. It's like you want to go back to being mocked like Overtrapper in Diepio. Auto Overtrapper. When the naturally buffed Overtrapper gets added an auto turret and it somehow doesn't get as mocked as the prior tank before it. Enactor. Be grateful whenever one of these drones finishes anyone off. Mosi Drive. This is what happens when the drugs also like drugs, except the aforementioned drugs do not work. Depraver. How to rob yourself of happiness with one simple upgrade. Loon. Bent Double wishes it had this speed. Annexa. The stacking is impeccable. Auto Constructor. Be the one who holds up growth mode in the palm of your hands. Galar. You may as well be a reverse pentashot that can shoot traps. Peak. Because what we need in this game is a bunch of snipers spamming like a crossbow. Clearly. Plaster. You're not evil enough to do anything. Nabba. No efficiency. Stainer. In another universe, this would be the strongest tank in the game. Auto Cobbler. So I would like to move to another planet and find something more interesting than this. Dotter. You like to disappoint yourself. Claimant. Reserved for those that get too close to you. Cockatiel. Yes, this is a thing. Auto Quad Angle. We know you like to show off your guns, but if you can actually kill some players rather than showing off, they may just be more legitimate. Repairman. Siege should have been the place for you. Trimmer. Trimming the fat but left with no muscle. Auto Zipper. Keep your mouth shut when considering how good you are. Impeder. Only if you play in reverse will you be able to do what you achieve. Coordinator. You got at least one thing right, coordinating your drones, but that's the best thing about you, and nothing else good. Machine Megatrapper. Max reload gaming for the sake of faster and more powerful traps. Auto Fashioner. You were never in style. Slinger. Even you cannot track where all your bullets are moving. Cousin. This is as lazy as it gets, but there are so many contenders, if not surpassers of laziness. Auto Crossbow. You still proceed with caution. Probationer. Don't worry, you'll get out of your probation once you finally realise the giant drone isn't worth it. Auto Pentaseer. You look like you've never gotten any sleep in your life. Mega Auto Machine Trapper. Wrong mega to upgrade. Triple Auto Mech. You look like you have more drones than a factory tank. Director Storm. Half-hearted gameplay is where it starts, and it only gets much worse from here. Auto Blower. Must not be approached in any way whatsoever. Auto Expeller. Funny how a joke classed like Walk is better than you. Auto Honcho Drive. Henchmen need mini henchmen to make themselves look tougher than they already are. And that's you in a nutshell. Auto Inception. Those with a specific playstyle revolving around auto turrets will certainly love this. Auto Discharger. There is nothing you can do to convince me that the side traps are better than the side barrels. Auto Bent Gunner. So you're telling me that the auto turret is stronger than the Bent Gunner? Auto Machine Guard. You were praying for this. Auto Boomer. Most auto upgrades are mostly just losing out on a stronger tank. Auto Rimfire. You have more rage and depression than Auto Gunner. Auto Minigun. Are you tired of these auto tanks yet? Decker Tank. You're no longer a Category 5 Hurricane. Foctillery. Just a cleaner looking artillery. Crossbreed versus Compound. The fight for the ages to prove which one is better, and here's the one with the real disadvantage, assuming you like bigger bullets and not bigger NPC drones. Hognose. The auto turret does more of the killing than the Sidewinder bullet, as the Sidewinder bullet is just there to cause problems. Contractor. This is what happens when you merge with your arch enemy. Concoctor. You must continue creating potions, as that may be a better choice to throw towards your enemies, rather than your stupid little traps. Hurler Free. Thrown into the Shadow Realm, never to return, or never to be threatened again by better tanks. Mech Guard. You have failed to be human. Mastermind. Your plan backfired and still have the desire to call yourself a mastermind. What a failure. Inducer. How to ambush without even trying to ambush. Machinist. The way I would rather describe this as masochism as a tank. Methodist. You and the previous tank, Machinist, may as well be one and the same. Fashioner Drive. Would this be the perfect representation of irrelevant players clinging onto fashion trends? Resourcer. What a uniquely weird way to spam your bullets. Caduceus. Cannon Fodder. Gimmicker. The greatest trick you ever pulled was to convince everyone that you are a joke, until you start going up against them to see what you're truly made of. Restorer. Use this tank to restore your own score. It's 100% legitimate and not shady at all. Interner. When a tier 4 tank debuffs itself to make it balanced. Claymore. I personally feel like there's some untapped potential here, whether if it's something I actually don't know if it's been thought of, or just simply because nobody ever uses it. Python. When you want to be both a Rocketeer and a Sidewinder. Flexed Hybrid. At least you have something to flex about, unlike your other F tier tanks. Electrocutor. Frother. Why does it feel like you want to eat your own traps? Overgunner Drive. This gives you more of an excuse to defend, just so you can use the bullets on your drones. Artist. Making something look pretty will never help your case. Pariah. Talk about unpredictability on so many levels. Aerodome. Keep wrestling with your emotions because you appear to be mad at both of these drones for not working to whatever potential you think they have. Spindle. You were cursed from the very beginning. Spouter. You talk too much of nothing. Dirigible. The equivalent of a human with their arms out that are able to shoot rockets towards their opponents. Overangle. You can't be too fast and you cannot be staying still because it's not in your blood. Kral. Another way to build a barricade, I guess. Pepper. Don't get salty when you die, because that's the job of others. Ransacker. Now that scores are shared between multiple damage sources whenever multiple tanks hit the same target, you and many poachers will use this to elevate yourself to a higher status. Dope Lord. Your laugh has turned more maniacal, knowing what you are about to unleash onto the world. More. At least you have something to fall back on. Vermin. You will be exterminated. Packer. You need more bees. Landau. The only interesting thing about this tank is it's the only tank to end with the letter U. Presage. Sneaky and swift is how you act since your bullets are smaller. Deliverer. Somehow not the most useless tank for invisibility. Machete. What a weak blade. Auto Booster. The turret is every fan who was in the MG Spin to Team cult. Carrier Drive. Drones don't ever last long enough to be considered very useful. Junkie Drive. You give high score junkies a bad name. Auto Hutch. It's just here doing whatever it does. Parapet. Maze is definitely your favourite game mode. Parakeet. Bullet speed is very important here, as it truly can be a make or break situation. Velation. If you get killed from behind, then it's 100% your fault. Shepherd. Almost as if you're herding the sheep to slaughter. Bastion. You're more than just a battleship on your own. Garda. You look like you failed a jousting session because that trap is terrible. Collision. Death Star. Nobody is proud of this technological terror you've constructed. Mogul. The mail is in. It appears that everyone hates you far more than you could ever believe. Addict. We know you're addicted, especially to drones. You don't need to tell us. Mega Automech. You would have been better off using the triple. Hyper Twister. This is your way of showing how much you love Quad Tank. Pummeler. You don't hit hard enough. Triple Auto Diesel. You are not pumping enough toxic waste to be a threat. Maker. And for my next trick, I am going to make myself disappear by dying. Brisk Seer. No more challenges for you. Fuser. There is no point in looking like a fancy trapper. Fryer. You got smacked in the head with a pan which made you not have the one ability that could have made you stronger. Deflector. Another regretful mistake. Energizer. You charged up the wrong kind of energy. Amalgam. Synexia was really onto something when they made this an overpowered beast, but this one has failed massively despite it all making sense. Catcher. You simply have the right to just leave if you do not like this tank. Auto Walk. If the Bulwark tree was officially part of the stock market, then all of the future existing tanks after it, including this one, would have majorly decreased its stock so dramatically that it would have been considered worthless. Auto Beekeeper. You cannot commit to the memes. Boom slang. This could be even worse for those trying to destroy these stupid Sidewinder bases that are seen across the game, or because it explodes into smaller bullets. Diesel Trapper. Picture this as a tank shooting wheels that have spikes attached. Supplant. Your spamming techniques are impeccably impeccable. Stall. This is the weirdest hunter I've ever seen. Auto Commander. If this is your version of being more simple, then you should look at how confusing Commander can be. Acquirer. You, alongside many others, act like these out-of-touch businessmen trying to sell you a product that is many years behind the times, which is essentially what happens with a lot of Tier 5 tanks. Raider. A sniper with even faster means of movement is always a very terrifying thought. Shoebill. Anyone from Diepio will have had the biggest dream that Mega Trapper would be the one to have the speed to properly chase players, giving them the biggest trembling of fear to ever have been known. And here we are, the Shoebill providing all of the goods. Stunner. You're not good at temporarily paralyzing anyone now, are you? Spinner. I feel dizzy just by looking at this. Mine. The confusion lies within your circle, so I will ask this. Do you like circles? Widget. Machine Minigun wasn't a good name, so the geniuses behind the scenes came up with this name. Anaconda. Anything for you to spam with in a corner. Wiper. You pretend to play in reverse for half a second so you can get the kills you wish. Over Trap Guard. The truest amalgam you ever see, and you can tell this led to some inspiration elsewhere. Donkey. Can you shut up? Triple Auto Underseer. You're a glorified pet. Plant. The industry loves you because you do its bidding. Modeler. I would also be annoyed at the traps being too slow to explode. But I just don't care. Auto Slinker. Just a friendly reminder that the override command exists. Over Artillery. It was worth it to pretend to be overpowered again. Vera. You think this is terrible because you only see it as a Sidewinder, you spamming freak. Sire.
And it is I who must have made thee tremble in fear upon witnessing the devastation across thy land that thee loveth to dominate.
Auto Bonker. The smaller, the dumber. Auto Mingler. This is a weird looking cyclone. Maybe you're weird. Outpost. What you have here are drones that look like traps, but no one is confused by it. Brisker Drive. I think the drugs are starting to get to you. Mega Auto Launcher. You could have the strongest mega turret in the world and you would still suck. Pumper. It's safe to say that you launched them with a pump shotgun. Sorry, not sorry. Wraith. You sometimes like to play with just the auto turrets for a joke until you fail to succeed and become less of a joke by using your drones. Tyrant. You are supposed to be this omnipotent being that drills fear into everyone, but you have others that will rival you for your quest for power and domination, and perhaps may even be able to overpower you. Okay, it's very fitting that I'm beside the eye wall for this. Shell. You are given the opportunity of a lifetime by not wasting all of the explosions handed to you on a silver platter. Rattler. Good job on becoming the Diepio version of Skimmer in Arms Race. Now let whatever nostalgia you have run wild. Triple Auto Builder. Don't expect yourself to always dominate growth with these pea shooter like bullets. Auto Swarmer. Sorry, you can't have two swarmers at once. Gyro. To use Twin Flank as a bullet is a huge power play that everyone saw coming. Assembler. This is not the assembler I ordered, the one that murders with traps, and now I demand a refund, but... Oh wait, you can get a huge growth high score with it? Oh, all is forgiven then. Maybe. Waster. This is laughable at best. Ultra free. If you are to use an auto tank, you pick the right one, or you go all out, and this is the perfect example of going all out. Trove. All you have to do is nothing, and watch everyone really want to strike you down with the biggest iron fist that they can muster by their own very being. Over Rifle. You can never resist the drone. Mega Auto Hunter. Do you really think you can time your shots to stack with a mega turret? Nona Trapper. You have so many barrels that you don't want to play this because you are a script user that wants much faster reload with fewer barrels. Corella. Somewhere someone will believe this is the next fighter, but they would be horribly wrong. Triple Auto Doper. Challenge rejected. Colonizer. Only the British are allowed to play this tank. Wait a minute. Damn it. Handler. The equivalent of a D's nuts joke. Nuker. Just one wrong button press and you simply may be able to explode us all. Doper Drive. It's almost as if you think there is something to prove against the overdrive, but you will never have enough drones to achieve your goal. Work! Half a ringtone makes you half the triple shot you're meant to be. Over Hunter. Stacking and controlling drones means you can never remove autofire, and you hate that. Slayer. You have failed yourself when it comes to slaying others. Brio. This is something you really want to work and you will push it to the best of its ability. Brig. 2 triple shots at once with different barrels is an absolute nightmare to deal with. Lure. You are not easy prey enough to bring someone to their death. Voyage. You like the idea of having multiple different drones to play with, even though it doesn't come directly from you. Lobber. Another major failure. Auto Manager. You almost never cared about your invisibility anyway. Rogue. I welcome you to the most infamous tank to ever exist in Arms Race. There is literally no other comparison as it is incredibly popular, and is one of the few tanks that can easily change the course of the mode it is in. Mega Auto Assassin. Good luck running away. Triple Auto Minigun. 2 triples in this vein was never going to be good. Auto Diesel Trapper. Even robots like the smell of fumes. Over Trapper Drive. One way to break out of yourself no longer being a meme is not choosing upgrades that make you return back to being a meme. You idiot! Hanger. Forgotten like the spawner. Thunderclap. Get thunderclapped! You have permission to kill every high score I achieve. Please. For my own sake. Pincer. Say hello to the most insufferable bullets known to man. Blusterer. Are you as cool as you look? The Intercontinental Ballistic Missile, because that's the abbreviation of this wretched weapon, is a missile with a range greater than 5,500 Wait, this is the wrong notes that I have here, and the wrong description. Note to self, do not use Wikipedia to describe Ratio tanks. Let me just go through my notes here to find the right description. Ah yes, the ICBM for Ratio. Great. Let's restart this, shall we? ICBM. Just when you thought things couldn't get any worse for Rocketeer, you have the same bullet that is able to shoot another bullet. It's a good thing that it doesn't explode like an ICBM should. Dust Storm. When the dust has settled, you like to bring in a whole new hurricane to this land, but it is not the hurricane they will ever expect. Servicer. There is some potential here, but you have to find it. Auto Mech Guard. At least your traps can be of a better service to you. Double Auto Smasher. A twin flank auto turret is enough for me to play this and not get hammered from both sides of the map. Auto Machine Gunner. You don't really need this. Vindicator. You fight even less and observe way more. Trailer. Curse your drones for giving away your position. Tailor. Removing one letter with a name for another tank, to me, does not mean that you're interesting. At all. Even if you're better. Toiler. Same with changing one letter and giving it to a completely different tank. But considering both of these tanks have counterparts that have more interesting names, mechanics and qualities, it's clear that it's given to tanks that nobody cares for. Bent Minigun. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have miniguns that can actually do damage? Harrier. 2 ways to ambush, but you don't know which is better. Auto Volley. You look like you have a lot of weight on your shoulders. Auto Hanger. You wish you could have a giant empty room just to shoot things for the fun of it. Machine Guard. Choose your main barrel wisely, as it may screw yourself up. Myriad. This goes against your own beliefs of constant drone spamming and you hate that. Incline. Stronger doesn't always mean better. Auto Streamliner. You sure like going down the underrated route. Bismarck. This is the stuff that pirates long for, so prepare to be shipwrecked. Harpoon. Make sure you target the head for maximum damage. Torsion. You just cannot let go, can you? Automaton. This could be deadly, but you always like to wander off just like your drones. Doper Storm. Storms can be hungover and high now. Bidder. If Headman is Overlord on crack, then Bidder is Commander on crack, though not as cool. Gizmo. Perhaps it would have been better for you to stay completely focused on the job at hand, as opposed to natural spray of the bullets. Salvo. Taking the machine gunner to a whole different level by using another type of gunner bullet. Amazing. Witch. The sacrificial lamb will always be done on the cauldron tank, but instead of being burned alive, you get rammed to death. Skater. High speed is the only thing that will save you. Or at least, try to. Proper. Why not utilize both the traps as pure damage and the turrets as side damage by playing in different ways other than trying to use both at once? Foregunner. Tighter areas or an open field is the question you tell yourself, and this determines the mode and the map that you play. Catapult. You would think this name was to be for a crossbow upgrade, but rather it was delegated to a throwaway tank. Auto Artillery. You know you would have dominated the main game if this was ever a choice. Auto Mortar. The one standard pounder tank that decides its alignment based on the mood it is in. Adderall. Do not resuscitate! Pyromaniac. You just like the pyrotechnics and nothing else. Flurry. When a tank becomes a walking contradiction of itself. Owl. If you can turn your tank 360 degrees, kill and run away whilst many players are coming for you, then you deserve to be called an owl. Jewel Bar. This gives Auto Double a whole new meaning, with a lot more ridicule. Spiral. The art of being unpredictable is not always a good thing, and unfortunately here, it's not a good thing despite the more unique way of using auto turrets. Sora. Fly high, booster, for your services are no longer needed. Specialist. Oh, the absolute horror of the moment when a trap does not shoot out turrets is the moment a player sees red and has no regard for anything or anyone or themselves. Destabilizer. The most unpredictable and unstable killing machine. Inspector. You wish the Overseer did this before, unless you love Reload. Octo Trapper. You no longer have fun, for it has been washed away since you grew up to be something more than just a troll. Overthrower. Someday you will pluck up the courage to overthrow the arena closer, but that also means you will lose. Former. Whenever you see a tank with both the default bullet and trap, it's already hell to deal with, but adding more mini bullets will make it even harder to fully overcome. Shearer. You don't even have enough power to ever try and use your drones at all, so you're out of luck. Auto Integrator. What a triangular disaster. Consolidation. 2 different quads making a whole new Octatank, which would be impressive if it was the only one. Molotov. This is the equivalent of a fire spreading before it suddenly explodes. You wait for it, but you can never tell when. Overzar. So we have come to the point that no matter where you end up in this game, there will always be a true overlord that exists, and it will continue no matter how many extra tiers there are. And now with 12 drones at once, the psychological impact you will have on other players and yourself will make it so that you and the game will never be the same again. Infestor Drive. What we have here is the infestor being infested by another infestor, and the result is this. Helipad. Minions upon minions upon minions to use at your disposal. Be a shame if they were actually terrible. Triple Auto Smasher. Wait, what? Did I not already do this? These are the only two tanks that have the exact same name, so I don't know if they ran out of names, don't really care about giving it another name, or they really thought that nobody would ever notice that there's two triple auto smashers in the game. I guess we'll never know. Bounder, do you ever have anything to say for yourself? Exerter, you look like you have more field of vision than what you currently have, because you always find a way to be multiple steps ahead. Epic, it's like the cruiser problem all over again. Kakatua, you might have more use for the trap turret now that you have been nerfed. Maybe. Tosser, only the auto turret is working out for you. Hybrid drive, can you simply just not ruin the hybrid for 1 second? Mega Laborer, too much work for what shouldn't be too little damage. Freefold, this is a triple shot that goes hard, if you can use it well. Auto Rifle, this is what Auto Assassin should have been. Orbital Strike, you can't have 6 simultaneous lasers as a space station, so you decide to set up for 6 destroyer bullets without having any recoil benefits. Hammer, that slight spray you have by default is something you cannot question, but it is something you can use to laugh at those who don't even realize you're not even forcefully trying to spray the bullets. Cleaver, this is actually the perfect gunner trapper, and you have no idea if this is even better. However, you don't care, and would rather use its ridiculous nailgun speed trapper bullets to pierce everything in front of you. Pit Viper, the true snake in the grass. Hotbed, you like to sacrifice a part of you so others could live longer. How noble of you. Quad Twin, you know you're a good tank when you can flank all 4 corners at once. Jalopy Trapper, the fastest reload of traps you will ever see. Downpourer, treat this like a proximity mine. Get too close and you could be dead. Polluter, begin the cleansing, as it is not your duty to be here. Cannonade, if this is the counterpart for Volley, then you have preemptively failed. Battle Drive, you still have to do some ungodly amount of evasion if you want to keep yourself alive from the ram tanks. And I am most certainly not talking about yourself being a ram build either, since the drone turrets do not help and the drones don't last long enough to be worth it. Auto Widget, have you not had enough yet? Auto Coalesce, there is no player that hates traps more than anyone who picks this tank. Superintendent, you have no idea how this is a tier 5 tank. Volley Hybrid, stay away from me. Garrison, a stronger secondary attack is always fun to have. Bent Triple, if you shake your mouse 3 times as fast, nothing will happen, other than your hand dying. Warlord, you look like a deformed bomber tank, trying to find any ounce of relevancy that you can find. Splinter Shot, with any other tank that has a large spread, you live for having a compacted set of barrels so that you can have slightly more direct firepower for your own playstyle, especially if they also shoot bigger and smaller traps. Auto Poacher, everyone laughs at you and you can do nothing about it. It's so embarrassing for you. Spindrift, how do you act like a fighter whilst being a surfer? Laddle, congratulations on having a triangle as a bullet. Now make sure you don't get it to spin like the Master Daily tank. You know the one. You know the one. Sizzler, you prefer your enemies to suffer a slow and painful death, but what's more painful for you is you are not the one that kills them. Contradictor, just sit there until something happens. Bent Boomer, play this in open areas and watch the chaos ensue. Dorber, the closest you'll ever get to a pure 180-degree angle on your tank. Mega Auto Artillery, the illusion is lost. Go back in time to when this tank was never here. Mosi, stop trying to act like a human with a human-like name. No one will be fooled. Hexa Trap Guard, players don't allow you to have fun no more, and now it's all or nothing. Cleft, when the discount fighter now acts like the discount bent double. Rider, you can't have all the booster or cockatiel features, it's just simply not happening. Now live with your choice or choose another one. Magnet, they say that opposites attract, but the only thing you are doing is making everyone else run away from you. Auto Hitman, I would like to believe that having an auto turret on a hitman would give away your position, so perhaps turn it off with override if you want to be sneaky. Labourer, you're the one with big dreams as you no longer want to be here, and honestly, good for you. Foredrive, any overdrive would be proud of this. Tornado, you are sadly not the best hurricane out there. Machine Volley, this upgrade is so pointless that it still looks and shoots exactly like a machine gunner. Aspirer, this is what it would look like if you had a jetpack with 2 revolvers. Blowgun, your extra barrel is the embodiment of blowing air into a tunnel. Auto Honcho, your sidekick is the worst thing for you. Remove it. Now, Auto Doper, your effects of the drug wore off and you're left with what you were really upgrading to. Jutter, big potential turning into a joke, but at least you still have fast reload on your bullets. And by that I mean the bullet on the bullet, if you are confused. Initiator, chip in all of the player's health in a more psychopathic way. Zipper, you made the right choice before even maximizing your upgrades. Split Hybrid, it does not feel right or genuine to do more hybrid destruction videos with most of these tier 5 tanks. Eradicator,
Everyone must be wiped off the fucking map!
Triple Auto Walk, you somehow look normal in comparison to the others. Mega Auto Spawner, even weaker drone tanks laugh at you. Issuer, you wish you had faster factory or spawner drones for the longest time and now you're here. Auto Hexa Trapper, you're too cool to hang around with the other triple tanks, and you're also sticking to the aspect of a notion called fun, because you would think that this is the only way to play for yourself and the only reason why you picked this. Band, you are using the 2 triples together, and these were only tier 3, so do you like to add lower tier stuff to yourself in order to upgrade yourself? Spanner, you finally realized you needed something that is considered invisible proof, so you will think this is worth it more than the extended suspicious tank like Wrench. Ruiner, you lost the appeal of a tank like this when you were given a bland name. Strafe, play sideways like a crab to use this properly. Rimfire, you sure like to pin all of the other tanks into a wall or corner and never let them escape, you evil being. Auto Nailgun, you can live without faster bullets if it means having 1 extra bullet, but that's your way of coping. Hyper Swarmer, you would be what Factory would be if all it did was create a machine that only shoots B drones. That would like to cause more problems than it already does. Storm, you will lose your mind trying to use the side bullets with the gunner bullets, so you either want to lose your mind for no reason or you want to keep your sanity intact by using your focus on one or the other main bullet or bullets. Sandstorm, if you found a way to pull players to their death, then you would be doing that without question, unless you cannot treat Magnet like quicksand. Auto Stall, you would think that this tank would not be good, but you must play against it to know what it's truly like to be against this tank. Propeller, you don't remember the last time you stole a kill. Ultra Smasher, there are too many hunter options to choose from that some of them even forget about you, and that's a shame. Assistant, at least you know where your stupid drones stand. Barrage, you make absolutely no difference to anything or anyone or the game at all. Over Equalizer, you have compensated over a little too much. Machine Trapper, you are not pumping your energy enough to produce faster traps. Lever, and once again you will understand why sniper bullets are the most annoying bullets in the game. This one is proof, and you don't even need to aim with it. Gaffer, if you're trying too hard, you either really want this to work when it already does, or you're just like every other Overlord or Commander user that likes what they consider to be a change, when in reality, you didn't change anything at all. Auto Crop Duster. Okay, moving on. Pursuer, the bullet is a much bigger jump scare than you ramming. Venture, you are surprisingly curious for what you offer. Artificer, you will be surprised how efficient this is at screwing up everyone else's day. Motor Gunner, this shoots bullets so fast that my previous sound effect would not be able to keep up with it. Boomstick, this is obviously a shotgun, But even then, nobody can still properly predict the spread of your bullets. Bazooka, the slowest rocket launcher to ever exist. Auto Captain, this makes you all the more illegitimate. Hexer, the only thing cursed is the idea of you thinking this is more viable than the Pentafield upgrades. Pitcher, this is what I like to call a tier bad tank. Brawler, good thing you merged the two tanks together, because now you have no idea whether if you want to meme the living hell out of it, or boast about your 97 different viable builds just like the fighter whilst pretending to be the best hunter in the game. Or both. Auto Ordnance. Go ahead and believe you have now upgraded into a military machine, if that's what makes you feel better. Or worse. Systematizer. The only reason you picked this is because you don't want to put any effort into spraying your bullets around. Lazy. Mega Bonker. If you zoom in further, then you look more like a Mega Smasher, but now with the body size upgrade, are you really worth it? Cruiser Drive. This will never help you succeed. Walk. This is where the joke begins, unless you think walk is also a joke. Auto Triple Shot. It's like you have a lot to prove. Carnage. Spread shots and crossbow sure do cause some kind of damage, so good job on being relevant to your name and that's it. Auto Carrier. Do you like being bullied? Grenade. In another game that no longer exists, rest in peace Survivio, I would shout grenade to the face, but here, I will shoot one to literally explode the grenade in your face. Necro Drive. I really want to give up right now. Peregrine. You are less worthy than what you are. Auto Triple Twin. You would be a completely broken tank in another universe. Auto Musket. How many more of these auto tanks do I have to say is a lot worse than other upgrades? Auto Charger. You need something to use before this slow trap explodes itself, and you don't even get to use it properly. Firework. This is the most brutal and sadistic version of insta-killing you could possibly imagine. Pug. Do not try to add cute as it will not fly well over here. Producer. It's like you took Ordnance but decided to become a more dominating presence with just one switch of the button. Okay, this is the third time now. I've got to do this at least once just to prove I am not a coward. So here it goes. Bigger Cheese. You are someone that masters your one special trait, with theoretically over 10,000 hours you have spent into mastering your craft, and yet you still struggle against the best of the best, but with that being said, you still die trying, which is definitely respectable. And insane. I did it. Are you proud of me? Let's hope I don't get demonetized. Auto Junkie. Another zombie, which means it never dies. Encircler. You like to argue that this is better than any other machine style tank just at tier 4. Auto Prober. What are you really? Auto Bent Hybrid. Triple Shot really wanted to be a hybrid, but you have failed in every turn. Mingler. How to act like a Gale without actually being a Hurricane player. Auto Railgun. Not enough frequent reload for a simple auto turret to keep you alive from not just ramming tanks. Slinker Free. You like surprises just a little too much. Mandible. Be sure to have enough stability to hold these guns whilst zooming around like a mindless idiot. Issuer Drive. 4 drones with turrets cannot live up to any other tank that uses even more drones, so you will often be beaten and you cannot take that fact. Auto Dope Seer. Don't worry, or worry if you wish, but the effects will wear off soon. Mega Auto Rifle. Tell me if you ever find success with this, same with the triple version, because I would love to know how badly you fail. Battle Gunner. At least be glad you can control your drones because you know how terrible AI drones can be here. Scuffler. This is the weirdest use of a pounder that currently exists, and now you have to flank with a flank bullet. Cauldron. How Spike would have been if it had the speed of a Mega Smasher. Auto Hexer Tank. Who else is going to have fun in arms race other than you? Auto Bomber. You are conflicted by your own actions. Spealer. The lack of damage on this is atrocious. Contrivance. The real machine trapper is here. Auto-director storm. You will soon realize that being bothered by swarms of something else instead of being bothered by yourself creating the swarm with just your drones is a bad idea. Sniper 5. Finally, a maximum upgrade sniper tank. That's easy to kill. Auto Eagle. This is the wrong kind of bullet for you to stack it with. Bruiser. To this day you still have no idea what makes single different, just like you have no idea what makes this different to Pounder. Or maybe you know and just don't want to tell us. And again, I am not talking about the line that goes through the barrel. That is an obvious difference. I'm talking about the tank itself. Leader. True leaders are supposed to lead by example, show bravery, courage, determination, and be respected by their fellow peers and followers, not wither away into a cloaking device, like the coward that you are. Limpet. The most horrific ratio nightmares live and die with this. Parrot. Do not continue repeating the same mistake, like you're known to keep doing. Coop. You know what it's like to have one of the strongest defenses, and so you will use it like any other tank to create an offense, as yours is one of the greatest, and you get a lot of hate for that. Over double twin. Maze is a huge problem and you are hyperfixated on mastering it. Bent catcher. You only upgraded to this to get away from the walk category. Smart, if it weren't for the fact that it's still in the walk category. Lorry. You need to go through extensive methods to either out-penetrate this ridiculous tank or catch them off guard, as there is no other option. Partisan. I should laugh at you, but then I realise that snipers are still the most frustrating thing in the game, so I will show you whatever pity I can muster for you. Virago. The main focus for you are Octatank wannabes, as you know you can easily escape whilst attacking them with these surprise bullets. Scorcher. This must be what it feels like to equip a burning arrow and then shoot it. Stronghold. Somehow having more of the same barrels make you a lot weaker than you're supposed to be. Gale. Everyone wishes you and Trove didn't exist, as you're both the unholy duo of chaos. Spear. The implication here is you like to be a problem for those in your own class tree and nothing else. Combo. Yes, this is most certainly a combo. Auto-hewn double. So the discount fighter now became the discount auto triangle at an even higher upgrade. Ultra Trapper. The one true and final ambush tank that everyone should watch out for, but that is if you can figure out the reload before it's too late. Mandarin. Just one too many drones. Recursor. You have the shortest fuse or temper imaginable. Reverberator. All you can hear is the echoes of your screams as you cry out in anguish as you do near miss after 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 near miss. Even when you hit. Driver. More bullets means more reasons to dislike you. Auto Death Star. And the aura is gone. Good job, idiot. Adjura. You really want to use both of these in the most efficient way possible, and this is as close as you'll ever get to it. Now make sure you don't die. Merganser. This kind of tier 5 tank wouldn't be worth it considering it takes 4 total upgrades to get here. Griffin. This feels more useless than it should be. Shopper. If you treat all of your kills like a shopping list, especially if some of the players are on the leaderboard, then you have major issues with this game and need to withdraw yourself from it almost immediately, but if not, then you're fine. Big Swiss. The fact that you have overlord-sized drones and you willingly or unwillingly try to use them like an overlord is absolutely hilarious. Ballista. You cannot spread it too far, otherwise it will snap off and you will be left with no major target. Hyper Projector. You're not as cool as the other tanks and they are not even hyper tanks, so do better. Over Launcher. Many things that use launcher are terrible, but many of them that use an over in them, anytime there's an over, it makes them better. So you know you're so bad when you have to add drones to your tank. Auto Shotgun. Why do you need this? Auto Brisker. Good, curb your addiction and beat it like a true human, or tank, should. But you still have a long way to go. Hutch, you look like a walk that's trying to be more serious. Pryor, the master of autonomy. Enforcer, there is no way you can be a bodyguard or an enforcer if this isn't even your final form. Auto-enforcer, your final form sucks. Condor, you like to pick your targets wisely. Equalizer, you're not strong enough to be the peacemaker, or equal to any tank for that matter. Expeller, and here begins those that are tired with the traditional traps in order to spam as many as possible. Double Gunner, Gunner flank is not enough to cause any significant damage. Fashioner, you're out of style. Auto Hunter, your time is near. You will soon be done with, just like all of the other garbage auto tanks, and you can hunt no more. Heptashot, and here we see the natural evolution of Pentashot, once again always causing a problem to everyone it witnesses, by still being almost absolutely everywhere, but only in certain places. Sharper, this is like sheathing your sword, but instead not realizing it's not doing as much damage as before. Warlock, being the only tank that can summon two different shapes, you best believe that your power will be a hit and miss situation. Tri-Machine, when in doubt, spam the same thing over and over, as it clearly works for some other failed tanks. Auto Mega Trapper, with the purpose you are supposed to provide, adding an auto turret isn't really going to make things any easier considering your reload is faster than Auto Trapper, now is it? Utilizer, there's only one thing you're using, and now stick with that instead of claiming you are using all of your other stuff. Banger, how many brain cells do you have left? Operator, mini engineer at the same level. Auto Baltimore, at least we know where all the robots are located. Auto Diesel, don't be mad that you don't have enough reload yet, as you can always maximize it to 9 and no longer complain like a fool. Auto Queller, pick this if you really want to go back to the glory days of artillery that now has a stupid auto turret. Castle, good job on replicating a castle that would have moving turrets at a real high security castle, because mobile castles would be terrifying as hell. Right? Mega Auto Cruiser, this and its other upgrade are arguably among the weakest drone tanks here. Mega Drifter, I expected this to have even lower acceleration for simply being a mega version of Drifter. Triple Flank Twin, two flanks don't make a twin, but an abominable version of Hexatank. Double Flank Twin, you're an incomplete quad twin. Double Nail Gun, the focus is lost, and your desire to try and use these bullets as a flank will backfire in your face. Squaller, just because this is the most unique way to use traps does not mean it is a viable one. Auto Armsman, you are equipped with the wrong things as usual. Brink, the best of both worlds when it comes to this class tree. Duo, I would like to call this the best twin tank possible. Dope Seer, cope harder. Palisade, this is the closest counter to itself. Triple Auto Pen, it is clear that a lot of these tanks are not meant to be taken seriously. Buncher, you're still convinced you are not fast enough. Bundler, arguably so fast that you're frequently in tank crashes. Battle Trapper, this feels like the joke that has gone for long enough, as Overtrapper always seems to be the punching bag for it. Vulcan, everyone can agree that you are the weakest tank in existence by a huge margin, and you should still obtain a serious buff, as all this does is give a disappointing name to the real minigun that this is supposed to be. Hewn Triple, if it's one thing that is certain, it's the fact that the majority of hewn tanks look absolutely awful and don't even play well. Pentamancer, okay look, I've got to do the thing. There are many descriptions I could have given this, but I must do the thing no matter what. I really must do it. Okay, but if I don't, look, if I don't, you are all going to be dissatisfied regardless of the description I give it. And I can't go back from this. I really can't, no matter what I try and what I do. So, here I go.
Pentamancer superior to Oversaw. Pentamon's are superior to others are. Pentamon's are superior to others are. Pentamon's are superior to others are.
Cap Gunner. Considering these drones also shoot bullets alongside the gunner bullets, this tank out of all the others makes it the most logical upgrade in the game.
Warship.
This would have been much more convincing of a Beemaster, or Battlelord if you must, because these amount of drones should be more illegal than Downpourer swarming you with their drones inside of their drones. Clunker. Put this against the lorry and see who wins, as this is the one that has way more to prove to the other that this is better. Auto double flank twin. It's like you thrive on being incomplete. Gunner Auto Smasher. You like to play with as much bullet power as you possibly can for no reason at all. Diviner. You would have expected this to deliver more carnage and dominance, if it weren't for the fact that penta versions are a thing. Hyper Skimmer. You feel rather underwhelmed by its properties. Rationalizer. Somehow you convince yourself the extra barrels do not help much unless you are insane enough to stack them all at once. Skewn Double. So you like to disguise as a booster to believe that you're legitimate? Ringer. You don't care what your drones do, is exactly what those who care about their drones would say. Auto Annihilator. You only picked this because you hate the Big Mac reload, but instead of more interesting options, you pick this. Or you just love Annihilator. What are the two? Patrol. The barrel on your traps do more of a better service than you.
Damn you all to hell.
Overwalk. Trying to break free from the ridiculousness of your counterpart upgrades is the most difficult job that you have. Auto Force. Stop clinging onto the artillery. Its days are over and you have to move on from it, just like I need to move on from these descriptions. Mega Spike. Sacrificing speed for body damage is never the answer if you want to survive for the long term. Underdrive. Every day we drift further away from the Necromancer gods. Triple Auto Overseer. Make sure you deploy your drones faster than your auto turrets shoot, is what someone would say if it was possible. Mega Auto Hexa Tank. The perfect symmetrical tank. Drifter. What you would see if a tank that's not fully customized were suddenly street racers. Junkie. No tanks were harmed, only their dignity and their high score. Blockade. Circles are your favorite shape, but only if they're unfinished. Production Drive. Any way to maximize the amount of bullets you can have. Auto 6. Put all the Cyclone barrels as an auto turret and you get this, because you would never truly believe that this cannot be an Auto 12, and Auto 4 being called Auto 8, showing the game a masterclass in deception. Taser. So you finally come out to play, and now the majority of those playing Arms Race who know about the chaos that happened with this tank when used by beta testers will drop as much as they can to take it all out on you. Triple Auto Machine Trapper. I would argue this is the greatest troll of all time, but there are definitely many other contenders for that role. Hexa Auto Smasher. I too am an alien. Hewn Flank Double. What in the living hell are you supposed to be? Triple Auto Free. I will be waiting for the 6th tier that will have auto turrets on top of auto turrets for the ultimate tripleception. Split Shot. Good to know that you're a very insane player. Slit Shot. So slicing off a letter makes you a stronger tank. I will keep this in mind. Matchlock. I don't recall muskets having drones. Auto Bent Double. You must be so tired. Auto Crowbar. A different auto turret will not save you, and you clearly do not understand that the main auto turret is weaker than your crowbar. Honcho Drive. For once, you have a drive tank that actually makes sense. Heaver. You seem to have a lot of weight on your shoulders. May I suggest losing the weight? Mega Banger. You hurt yourself more than you harm your opponent. Try Pea Shooter. Still not as weak as Vulcan. Auto Mega Hunter. You wanted better reload, so you went for this rather than pure power. Walk. You better wake up and take back your power before you realize your upper echelon of upgrades were done as a joke. Make your class tree legitimate. Prober. You will never win if you stay like this. Slinker. If you saw this in the main game alongside Landmine and Manager, then this would be an absolute trio of nightmares to deal with. Apiculturist, another horrible creation. Auto Sidewinder, this was never your first choice for what you do. Auto Foundry, how are you worse than Auto Spawner? Dagger, this is what happens when you lightly get shanked by multiple traps at once, acting like they're blades. Almost as if it's more annoying than painful. Bent Hybrid Drive, you have the attitude of someone that does not care, and you prove it by staying silent. Jalopy, you absolutely wish this is what Machine Gun was like. Subverter, when you are tired of top tier snipers but still want their bullet power. Auto Deviation, have you no shame in what you picked? Controller, congratulations on making sense of your name. Auto Rocketeer, all you depend on is lucky insta-kills and not your stupid bullet. Basher, you either spend your time being annihilated levels of salty or abusing teal colour maze walls like the absolute coward that you are. Auto Barricade, this is one for a zombie apocalypse, also known as Outbreak. Well, you'd think. Try Incarcerator, too bad you can't play sideways, but you like to try. Bent Gunner, how to permanently lose your appeal in 2 seconds. Rainmaker, what a cool looking tank with cool looking visuals, but these visuals do not make you good. Foamer, you like to paint yourself as something not so deadly, but then slowly kill them all when your time is right. Overgunner Drive, what an interesting way to have more bullets. If you couldn't pick up the sarcasm, I will just tell you, I was being sarcastic. Inception, one of the better class trees out there, and you wouldn't think so with it just being an auto turret added. Auto Director Drive, I can tell you hate drones. Auto Big Cheese, you had one job, to have the biggest and most powerful drone in all of the land, and you blew it. For this! Auto Walk, this still feels worse than Bulwark. Spitter, something about you feels very cheap. Mega Auto Honcho, the kind of player to throw their weight around, but starts to flee at the smallest of troubles. Bonker, body size is something you should consider if you actually want to be much better. You fool! Ricochet, others cannot fathom why this tank can be so powerful until they get insta-killed by all 3 traps at once. Auto Issuer, nobody cares about your problems. Jerker, holy shit, you're insufferable. Shocker, they think this is what Fighter would have wanted instead of the default barrel, but anyone that knows Fighter users, they will not want what they believe is any worse than this. Integrator Drive, don't play normally and try and get a kill with the bullets on your drones. Just one kill, I know you will fail. Auto Foreman, will we ever see a drone tank not talk about themselves? Four Trapper, who needs autofire when you can just shoot your trap with your drones when needed? Mega Courser, still no different from the Mega Hunter. Mega Hunter, still no different from the Mega Courser, and having one extra grey line through the barrel does not cut it. Spoiler, you chase too fast for your own good. Cubicle, you will never stop until everyone is dead. Auto 5, also known as Auto 6, if you catch my drift. Mega Auto Double Twin, watch it, the big boy turret is out, you're all going to die. Clearly sarcasm again. Try Mech Guard, you like to defend an area with 4 entrances for no apparent reason. Fortifier, this right here absolutely terrifies you. Thrasher, bow down to the Thrasher! Vortex, the only drone tank that actively encourages you not to use your drones. Slammer, you would think with a tank like this they would hit the hardest, but since those that hit the hardest are also not the smartest, eventually they will realize they are too sluggish to even be considered a hard-hitting tank, despite its obvious health advantage. Bent Volley, you couldn't flex far enough. Mega Auto Doper, you took the wrong pill. Inventor, this is the one that stays in a random area with no movement and shoots traps in a natural circle, which for whatever reason brings all of your other teammates together with you as a mini base. Auto Octotank. You're committed to the C+E so much that you still want to play as an Octotank and nothing else. Generator. Someone, somewhere is happy that this is in the game, and we must find them and let them play it. Mega Foundry. There's nothing good to say about you. Conveyor. Even if you cannot do well with this, you like what it does. Conveyor. Not enough base reload to swarm your enemies, so you end up sticking to another tank that does. But how about have some faith in it instead? Buckshot. You longed for the day you could use a shotgun like a destroyer, and here it is, another shotgun that has a similar amount of recoil as the destroyer. Now you got what you wanted, so it's best to keep quiet and use it as intended. Auto Cockatiel. You are so incredibly toxic that even the most unlikable characters dislike you. Try Bushwhacker. Make no mistake, you are still a sniper, whether you want to be or not. Bewitcher. Be inventive with your ambushes, as you have invisible drones for that very reason. Over Destroyer. The ultimate confusion tank. Auto Incarcerator. You feel like you're equipped to deal with everything, but only if you try hard enough. Brisker. No one knows if you're okay. Mega Auto Underseer. Go play with the lower leagues. Ultra Spawner. Imagine being so broken in a broken ass game mode that you had to get so badly nerfed, and you are still one of the most abominable and irrefutably most hated tanks that has ever been created. Try Machine Guard. For once you're in sync with your bullet, but sadly not your mind, you stupid machine. Auto Spreadshot. Begin the cleansing, and do not stop. Honcho Storm, because any wannabe tough guy needs aggressive minions to do its dirty work. Triple Auto Cruiser. You love everything minuscule. Pea Shooter Drive. 0.1% weaker. Double Equalizer. Perfect name, terrible tank to execute it with. Hyperwinder. You bank on the unpredictability of where this bullet will go to obtain any of your kills, and minus the stupid Sidewinder base that you could easily do, you would rather prefer to be a harbinger of chaos whenever possible. Leviathan. Don't think, just shoot. Your kills will come, and forgone are the days of you even using your brain, as you're now on autopilot, shooting until you get swarmed by the one thing you very well deserve, you brain-dead fool. Auto Fighter. Can you just, I don't know, let this tank go? Bent Synthesis. This is the kind of extra spam other players like, because it's easier to kill you. Plaguer. Almost everyone is immune to you. Volley. Why do you exist? Raptor. You still convince yourself that speed is more important than power because you only like running away from everyone just for the fun of it. Kettle. 2 upgrades into 2 downgrades. Auto Mech. You wait for the clock to strike to 0, and when that happens, it's doomsday calling. Fawn. You have much less of an excuse of being so slow, but not that it matters, as you still struggle to kill anyone. So go defend others by being a meat shield, or give that job to Slammer and be elsewhere. Rifle Free. Another liability. Triple Auto Gunner. Wow, you really must hate yourself. Mega Auto Gunner. Wow, you must hate yourself even more. Walk. Oh dear. Carnivore. You only pick this for complete and total dominance over anyone that dares to face you. Top Banana. High risk, high reward, high stakes, high score that only gets destroyed once by that one player who somehow dodges everything you fire at it. Crusher. It's not enough for you that a player is dead. It's enough for you when they do not exist in the spirit world. Railgun. It is because of you that many of us have to be careful that we do not get giga-sniped by a bullet with ridiculous firepower. Pentaseer. True Pentagon Guardian moment. Auto Hybrid. No hybrid should be scrutinized, especially one with a destroyer bullet, by adding a simple auto turret on it. And now you're laughed at. Triple Auto Destroyer. No fear from the insane. Crank. The closest you'll ever get to 3 destroyer bullets as an automatic turret. Auto Overdrive. You like to have a lot of different secondary weapons. Sty. You throw mega trappers like a special delivery for those that forget that this is what it does. Triple auto double. You like to try and blend in. Cluster. Many have longed for a bullet that exploded into a bunch of smaller bullets, including myself. Try Barricade. The one who just spams traps for the sake of spamming traps. Gunner Builder. The true upgrade that any gunner trapper should take, as you cannot resist any trap that you can control yourself. Mono. You are the kind of player that doesn't need fancy drones or telepathic traps that you can place by your direct location. All you need is the default bullet and cause your own trouble, and that deserves a lot of respect. Pentadrive.